Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm with Charlie Grace, who is a Class B RV camper queen.
And she wants to share everything about her Dodge ProMaster camper van.
Hey, we're doing this. This is fun. I gotta put the door back for a second. Well, my name is Charlie Grace. Welcome. This is very exciting. Welcome to my adventure van. I have a Dodge Ram ProMaster 3500 with a Thor Sequence 20L floor plan. But this is my third rig. Sort of like to have the Goldilocks story where, you know, you sort of one big, one small, one medium. Finally found the right fit. And I love a Class B. And I'm officially a B girl now.
Tell me how you got started in the RV industry.
It's a great story. I was a camper my whole life, but I was never an RVer. And I always wanted to get an RV. In about 2017, I got my first RV. And I realized I sort of had that typical first RV experience, went in and bought something I thought I liked, but it wasn't really what I needed.
So you said that this is your third iteration or RV. What were your other two RVs and what did you not like about them?
My first RV was a 24-foot Class C. It was a Thor Elite. And I originally bought it from Camping World. Had an interesting Camping World experience, as a lot of first-time campers do. First off, I loved them. I really did. But I bought it and didn't really understand everything I really needed. So I started dreaming of making my list of what I wanted. Second time I bought from, I got a longer. I'm like, I really can't do that really tiny small. So I got a 30-foot Class C. It was a Thor Chateau. I loved it. And I have 4 awesome kids. And they could, you know, go along with me. And we did some little trips and things like that. But what I really found out was they were teenagers at the time, starting to get, you know, summer jobs and things like that to do. So my travel style was a little different than what they wanted to do. So after the last one was getting ready to graduate, I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to get an RV for me. So I started looking around and a couple of friends of mine had a van, a Class B, and I'm like, you know, I really like that. And one of my biggest complaints was the noise and just the way the Class Cs were driving. I felt like I was driving a U-Haul. There's nothing wrong. I love the floor plan. I just didn't like the drive, and I'm a driver. I love to drive. So I found a Class B, and I'm currently in this awesome Ram, and I've loved it ever since.
Do you have any advice for someone who's maybe looking to get an RV that might help them prevent getting multiple RVs before they decide on the perfect one?
So I had some interesting sales experiences when it comes to like buying an RV, and I've sort of found out over the years who to work with and who not to work with, and I'm really a huge fan of one particular person. Her name's, we call her Becky B. She's at General RV. She knows her stuff, and she has been a huge person to help me and others. I tend to refer her on. She's looking to help you get into the right kind of fit. Like I said in the beginning, I didn't know what I needed. And I had to go through a really big checklist once I had one to realize what I needed. And she's able to sort of work with you through that. And looking forward, I probably might be getting a new one that will be a better fit thanks to Becky.
So you travel solo. Do you feel like even a van this size, or do you feel like a van this size is big enough for couples to travel in, or another companion like a pet, something like that?
I've traveled with my son in this. I've traveled all over the country. It's really fun. So typically it's myself and my dog. And that's one of the reasons why I got the RV, was so I could travel with my dog. She's pretty cool. Her name is Rosie Belle. She's pretty awesome. She's a rescue dog. And I would say 2 people max in a Class B van, but it does get a little tight, and you've really got to pare down what you think you're going to bring, because every little inch in space counts. So I have learned so much about traveling with the dog, and I think it's a fantastic way. And I learned so many RVers love traveling with their pets as well. And I've actually taken the time. You have to learn places to stop. Does your dog like noise, not like noise? Does your dog like to camp with other people? Does your dog like other dogs? So these are things that you think about when you start to RV with your dog. So Rosie Belle Dog has been fantastic, and she's a great guard dog for the van. And she really likes to go to small towns and very quiet places. She's not a big fan of really busy campgrounds, but she does love kids, and that's wonderful. So when we get to meet a bunch of kids at the campground, she's in heaven.
So Charlie, I've heard that you're the first RV camping comedian.
It's a crown that I wear quite proudly. I have to tell you, I'm very excited about this. I've been writing comedy for years, and when I started RVing, I started listening to stories around the campfire and just watching other people. I'm very observant. I like to take a lot of notes and bring things back. So I started my Stinky Slinky comedy tour in 2023 at the Tampa RV show, actually at Matt's RV's Review meetup. And I've been doing meetups and other corporate events throughout the United States for this year. And it's been a lot of fun, but I love doing comedy, and what better place than at a campground. All right, welcome to my rolling crib, my adventure van. Here we go. Shh, there's a dog in here. She might bark. Hey, Rosie, guess what? We have friends. Let's take a look. Hi. All right, so here's the deal. This is awesome. I call it the most expensive dog house on wheels, but you know what? It's cool for redheads too. So I have a 20L floor plan, which means I have two essentially like twin size beds that could go together, but honestly, one's for me, one's for the dog. We just like to snuggle and hang out and watch movies and do a lot of writing. I have a fantastic new table that my friend Johnny's Journeys, Midwest Van Builders, just built for me, which is awesome, out of butcher block. Really love that. Thank you, Johnny. With a cup holder, because you know what? There's never enough cup holders in these vans. And tell me, we don't all have like Turvis tumblers and our little mugs that we're all drinking our morning coffee and things like that. So anyways, gotta have those. Most people have a lot of the same stuff. I love to add things, and this is actually from Bare Naked Wood, and they made me a van life little butcher block, or not butcher block, but little cutting board, which is cool. So I've learned a lot of things. I'm a huge fan of packing cubes. Love me some packing cubes. And a good Sharpie marker just to write what's on it, because then you don't have to like hunt and peck and look for things. All in all, it's been a fantastic van. People always ask what they put up here in the pizza box. We call it the pizza box because it's 1,000 degrees, in the summertime. And I put all towels and bedding and things like that up there. But the biggest thing when you're in a small space, small items, and lots of organization. So you gotta be organized and you gotta enjoy it. And just realize, go with the flow, because that's what it's all about. So a lot of people ask me, how do I work in the van? And I have a couple different options, and I like the flexibility of that. So one, I have this awesome thing here that comes up and actually makes a tabletop and goes around, and I can spin my passenger chair around and use that, and use my TV that's already attached to the wall as a second monitor. Really cool. If I want to do a stand-up desk, because who doesn't like to stand up, I actually put it on my countertop. You'll notice my countertop looks a little weird. It's because it's my yoga mat too. I actually took my yoga mat and cut out where things were like the faucet and whatnot, because it just made a handy space, and it was sticky and great and grippy when I wanted to put things on it when I travel. So I really, super handy. I made a few modifications. It's definitely not straight out of the factory. I've done some things. I have a little suggestion list for people when they start building these things. One is, you've always got to have a flexible hose when you're trying to do dishes. It's really super handy. A lot of my friends who have vans also have those out the door, so then they can, wash their dog or do an outdoor shower or whatever they want to do, but I had to add that on too. I do have a propane cooktop here, as well as a microwave convection oven. I will admit, I like to eat out a lot. Just saying. So when you're in a van, I travel great places. I'm a foodie, I love food. So also don't like to clean, just being personal here, guys. So if I can have someone else cook my food and do the dishes, I'm all down for that. If you've got a restaurant you want me to come by, just all I'm saying, send me an email, I'll come by. Lots of fun. I just stayed at a place in Middletown, Virginia, the USA's oldest motel, which is really, really cool. And they have a fantastic prime rib, and they were also a place where you could park overnight. So I'm always looking for unique places to spend the night in the van and meet interesting people. All right, so as you can see, this is my partner in crime. This is Rosie Belle Dog. She's pretty awesome. She loves it here. This is her van. She just makes herself at home, and there's lots of room. She is 36 inches long, just to give you an idea, from her nose to her tail, so long dog. I do know people who have bigger dogs in these vans. More power to them, and as long as they can keep everybody healthy, I'm all about it. So some people know Rosie Belle Dog is slightly Instagram famous. She has like 167,000 Instagram followers. I'm just the girl with the dog. I like to say people love to hang out and see her, and I just happen to have the leash. That's it. Okay, what's behind door number 2? Well, this happens to be my shower and bath and awesome dressing area, but a girl's got to have secrets, so you don't get to see that. Sorry. One of the things I love about this van is it's very brightly, neutrally colored. I know you're thinking, wow, she's got these pops of color everywhere, but I wanted the cabinets and the walls to be really neutral, so I could switch it up and do anything I want to. If I want to change the bedspread, make it blue, black, whatever I want, I'm all cool. But these cabinets are awesome. They're really glossy, so they reflect light, and they open up really easily. And you can put a lot of stuff up there. As you can see, I've got baskets and my heater and dog toys and everything else. I love this really well. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 7 of these things. The space in here is astronomical. When you're traveling in a van, you sort of have to think of it like you're on a boat all the time, and everything's got to be put away at all times because you start to move and things will rattle and move and that kind of thing. I've been very fortunate. My cabinets don't open. I've used packing cubes, but you do have to be specific and don't put super heavy items up here either. That's one thing you do need to think about. But as long as they're in packing cubes, everything's perfect. And heaven forbid there was ever an emergency, and like I had to take it in the shop and they might have to hold it for a couple days. All I gotta do is grab a little duffel bag, throw those packing cubes in, and I'm good to go. So as you can see, this is sort of like my couch. It's very nice. There's 2 cushions back here. And then there is another kind of tabletop like this. I have two. I have one here and one in the back, and I have bars that go across, and you can put those down and then add these cushions to that, and this makes a really big bed. I'll tell you right now, I've only done it twice. I don't really like a big bed like that because it's really hard to get to the restroom in the back when you really need to in the middle of the night or in the morning. So I keep them separate. She likes this side, which is great. And then somehow, I don't know how, in the middle of the night, she ends up crawling over to my side, which becomes a very crowded but nice and toasty bed. Everyone wants to know, do you feel safe when you're driving by yourself with a dog? Absolutely, and I'll tell you why, because there's just a few things, just, you know, tools of the trade, tricks, things you need to know. And one of them is you gotta have really good shades. Privacy is important. You park somewhere, you don't need the world to see you when you're doing stuff. So of course these shades came with this van. They're blackout shades, which is great. I did upgrade and go and get the WeatherTech shades for the front of the van, and it keeps the hot air out. So like people always talk about using Reflectix, that reflective material that you'll put sometimes to keep the heat out, and that's what it does for the front, and it's fantastic. So WeatherTech did a great job on that. My fridge is pretty cool, and right now I've noticed a lot of van fridges are really small, and this one's actually not bad. We're gonna do you open the fridge? What is a van like for having the fridge? Let's take a look. Just stuff. Drinks, salad, all sorts of good things. You know, I always joke and say I have hot sauce at all times, but I'm gonna show you something. This is the coolest thing I've ever bought this year. It's like a little silicone piece, and let's say you get a jar of olives or something like that, and you can't open it. You just put it on the top, twist it off, but more importantly, when I'm done with it, it goes right back on my fridge. Super handy. Okay, so the only time I really use my microwave is when I'm reheating leftovers or maybe a cup of soup. It's really handy. I have friends who love it, and they do hamburgers and grilled chicken, things like that in it. Like I said, I'm a foodie. I'd rather go out to eat. Carabiners are awesome, but this is fantastic for pet safety I want to talk about. It's called a Pet Safe. It goes through your actual seatbelt. So when you're driving, as long as your dog is not near any kind of, you know, airbags or things like that to keep them back, if you can't crate them, this is pretty fantastic with a really safe harness. This did come with a retractable screen, which is really, really handy, and I love it, except, as you can see, the dog could find a squirrel or rabbit and just sort of like bounce and take out of it. I had to come up with an idea. So, because I've got my lovely little flexible table here, what I did was, I keep this closed and I had something put in. Watch this. Ready? This is not a regular door. It's a regular door, it's not a power door, but I had a little thing put in the track back here that holds the door there, so I could still have really cool fresh air and not have the dog jumping out to find a squirrel. Wait 1 minute. So this is called a Vancillary, and it was an aftermarket thing that we found, and my friend at Midwest Builders actually put it on for me, Johnny's Journey. She's fantastic. And after we went through this whole entire process of what are we gonna do and how are we gonna dog proof so she can't pull out, there you go. Done. I have more lights than a spaceship. I gotta tell you, I've got lights underneath, I got lights on the side, I've got puddle lights, I got outside lights, I got LED lights over here. So if I park late at night and I need to hook up, no problem, I can always find where I need to hook up. Also, if I need to take the dog out late at night, it just lights up the whole yard. It's fantastic. In the back, this van actually came with a Thule travel system, which is great. So I can put 2 bikes on top of here. I've got a nice big roof rack. I've got a 200 amp solar panel, which trickle charges my batteries, which helps. I only have AGMs, I don't have lithium in this one, but that's something I'm looking to upgrade. Okay, so everyone asks, where do you put the Stinky Slinky? Where do you put all your cords and hoses? Well, the Stinky Slinky actually has a separate compartment, which I love. It's on the side. Well, I got a garage in the back. Let me show you. So what's nice is I actually have a telescoping ladder, which is a magnetic ladder, which I love. I've got my water hose, and this is for, you know, doing my back flush, which is great. And then all of my cords and attachments can go right here, and it fits perfectly. It's really important. I sort of think this is dummy proof because they've labeled everything for your city fill and your water fill, but the sewer hose is right here, and it's pretty awesome. So you can just take it out, and there you go. It's nice and hidden. It's not inside. Perfect.
Charlie, you travel with your dog everywhere, and I have seen on your channel, and it shows on your window there, that you keep the temperature controlled at all times. Can you share how you're able to do that in this van?
Absolutely, and this is really important. So if you travel with a dog or a pet, you want to make sure that it's climate controlled. If you decide to go out to dinner, you want to go golfing, you want to go do something with your friends, and you leave your pet inside, it has to be climate controlled. So my current situation is I have a generator that I love, and the reason why I have a generator is because it's a consistent It's a golf cart race. Okay, so I have a generator in my RV because I like to make sure that my coach is climate controlled for my pet. It's very important. It's a very safe situation. So I've looked into lithium, I've looked into generators, and right now I have a generator and AGM batteries. Now I love it because I can run it for as long as I want. I'm not worried about, you know, the battery's going lower, things like that. I also have some other systems in place as a fail-safe, meaning I need to know what the temperature is if I'm going to be gone for a little while. So I have a nice security system on the outside, which I'll keep as a secret, but on the inside, I also have an Amazon Blink system. So I have a hotspot that is attached to Amazon Blink, and I have a camera in the front and a camera in the back, and it shows me what my pet is doing, what Rosie's doing in the coach. It also gives me temperature alerts, which is really nice.
Well, Charlie, thank you so much for giving us a tour of your RV. Guys, in the comments, say hi, say thank you if you enjoyed this tour. And Charlie, can you tell us how we can reach you on social media if we want to follow or subscribe to your YouTube?
Absolutely. I love making new friends. Come on over, Charlie Grace Adventures on YouTube, TikTok, and of course on the web. Woo! This was so much fun. Let's do it again.